Let's talk about Square Enix, ladies and gentlemen. Square Enix, let me preface this for people who are watching on Hypnotic Live right now, because I'm going to clip this. Square Enix has revealed, the president has revealed that Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth did not meet profit expectations. This is not exactly very shocking, okay? Because they have admitted to us before. This is not the first time, but this is the first time they've talked about the operating revenue loss. But they have admitted before that Final Fantasy 16 missed the mark, right? In terms of sales and whatnot. And also, too, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth missed the mark as well. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, Final Fantasy 16 was boring, blah, 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 whatever. Right. And with Final Fantasy 16, unfortunately, it was kind of a return to old school storytelling in Final Fantasy, where it took its time and it really tried to build it up to this big bad kind of a thing. And we live in a time where TikTok brain is a thing. And I just think people weren't ready for it. I think that the brain rot is really real. And Final Fantasy 16 is really slow burn. It's a really, really slow burn. And I've told this to people like Atreus, who played it in the beginning and stopped playing it because he was like, oh, it's so boring, it's slow, whatever. I understand, but it pays off at the end. It definitely picks up. But I get it. That's not for everybody, right? It's not for everybody. I think Final Fantasy 16 was a lot better than 15. I think 15 was just, I don't know what to even call 15, but Final Fantasy 16 was definitely better overall. Now, them losing money is a problem, okay? Because just to recap, because we got to repeat ourselves a lot here. They absolutely 100% lost an insane amount of money on Forspoken, and they lost an insane amount of money on Marvel's Avengers. Those two games alone lost them so much money that they went from $310 million of operating revenue all the way down to $90 million of operating revenue in just one singular year. That's all it took. 1 year to make them lose $320 some odd million. It's absolutely fucking nuts. Okay. So they really needed this game to hit. They needed Final Fantasy 16 to hit, and they needed Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth to hit, but it just did not hit. Both of them fell short of expectations. Again, I want to preface something. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I've always said this. This should not be shocking to anybody who knows me by now on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, but I am not going to shill for Final Fantasy, okay? I'm also not going to shill for Square Enix. I absolutely fucking refuse. This is why when I was playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, the first thing I said was, this is stupid, right? The gameplay, amazing. The materia system, amazing. The combat, good. It's really good. But the story, why'd you do that? Why did you ruin the story? There's no reason for you to go Kingdom fucking Hearts with this game. There's no reason for this to happen. And again, this is the problem, right? They're listening to people who are shilling for them. They're listening to people who would lie to them, who would tell them that Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was perfect. Nothing wrong with it. Now give me my swag, right? Or people who would say, oh, Forspoken is so stunning and brave. Right? It's so stunning and brave. We're so happy to see a female black lead in it. This is great. Give me my swag. Or people who are like, oh yeah, Marvel's Avengers. I can't wait to play as Kamala Khan. This is so important for women everywhere. Give me my swag. This is the problem, man. This company is listening to Western ideals, and it is ruining them from the inside. It is. It's ruining them. They have to stop listening to Western audiences. They have to. They have to go back to what Square Enix was, and there will be Western audiences that will absolutely pick it up, play it, support it, no problem. But the fact of the matter is, Forspoken was the first game that Square Enix made where they said, we are making this game for Western audiences. And look at what we got. Look at what we got when they made a game for Western audiences. This is what they think we want. And that's because there are idiots out there who are telling them complete and utter lies. They're telling them bullshit. And it's a big problem. You guys are ruining this fucking company, and they're ruining themselves by listening to you. So let's talk about the actual numbers. In a document outlining the company's financial results briefing that was held in May, but only published today, Kiryu shared that in the HD game sub-segment, we released multiple new titles, including major titles such as Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, but profits unfortunately did not meet our expectations. He later detailed despite the release of Foam Stars and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth in Q4, initial sales were not as strong as expected. In addition to which an impairment was made to the content production account, resulting in an operating loss. The company had an operating loss of 8.1 billion yen or $5.7 million. So a company that lost $310 million in operating revenue in a year has lost another almost $6 million even after two major titles such as Final Fantasy 16 and Rebirth. This isn't good, bro. This is not good. Now, here's the thing. Final Fantasy 16 has officially released on PC, okay? As of, I think, yesterday or today, or I don't even know. Let me see. Final Fantasy 16 has officially released on Steam. And as of right now, it's not looking that bad, but it could definitely be a lot better. But that's still not bad. It should help. It should help the game a little bit. It's got an all-time peak of 22,684 players. Not terrible, but again, not that great. How did Final Fantasy 15 do? Let's see. It did this. So this is doing less than Final Fantasy 15. This is doing less than 15. That's not good. That is not good. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a big time problem. Now, again, this is only 9 hours, so let's see where this is at in 24 to 48 hours. But I don't think it's going to get more. I don't think it's going to get much more than this. I really don't. And then you got to keep in mind, too, that Final Fantasy 16 has that gay shit in it that turned off a lot of people when it came to the game. So you lost a few thousand people there pretty easily. And this is the problem, man. They keep putting stuff like this into the game, and it doesn't really matter how well you write it. We know at the end of the day, Sweet Baby Inc. works with Square Enix. We know that. So it's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people who are like, I don't want to support anything from Sweet Baby Inc. You're automatically losing customers by maintaining that relationship, but they're never going to give it up because they've been kind of forced to maintain that relationship now. They're never going to give it up. It really fucks over the entire experience because I remember when I was playing Final Fantasy 16, I think it was like halfway through the game, you realize that Bahamut's avatar is actually gay, where he has a kiss with the prince, not the prince, I'm sorry, with like a soldier or something. And then you're just completely taken back. I feel like it completely removes you from the experience. And you're like, wait a second. What the fuck did I just watch? And it kind of takes you out of the Final Fantasy 16 experience. And it's just kind of off. But eventually you realize that the writing is not so terrible. And, not that you get over it, but you kind of, I don't know. It just felt so forced. That's the problem. Like, as good as the writing was, it still felt forced, which is a shame. It really is a shame, but it is what it is, man. Fucking, they really fucked up that game by doing that, in my opinion. It really turned off a lot of people. Wow, they made Bahamut gay? Yup. Solden said, I forgot Bahamut was gay? Yup. Super gay. I'm not even talking lightly gay. I'm talking super gay. Super gay. So, again, they made the ultimate summon gay. So it is what it is. So let's go back to the article. Hold on. Let's bring it back up really quick. So it's not looking good on Steam right now, but 22,000 is not a small number either. So